Hello guys, once again it's Matt, and today we have another video. Thank you all the members, all the patrons. Make sure to subscribe and let's get into it. So we have another tier list. It's been a while since I've done one of these, at least like a month or almost a month. And yeah, I actually did one. The last one was just ranking all the new rank 8 aircraft. And I told you guys on that video that once everything was moved to the proper ranks, so for example the MiGs and the other Mirage and all those aircraft, I would just add the F-14. Obviously I would just make a proper one on all rank 8 aircraft, and here we have all of them after the patch, after everything, and we're going to rank between top dog, obviously the best of them all. Great, but obviously it's amazing, but it has something that you have to consider. Good, at least on one thing. So aircraft that are probably bad at most things, but they're good at one thing at least. Kind of bad overall. So an aircraft that it struggles a little bit, especially due to its BR or something. And then complete suffering, the aircraft that it's just, it really is difficult to fly and it's just a bad one. So yeah, let's hop in. Let's start with the US, go for Germany and all the others. So of course the US, it has both the F-16s. I would say that it depends on the mode that you see, because obviously the F-16 Block 10, which is the normal F-16A, it doesn't have BVR, but it does have air to ground. I would put it on great, but it has some problems. It doesn't have BVR, it doesn't have thermals or anything like that for ground attacking or anything like that. So even though it is pretty good in a dogfight, it's amazing on a dogfight, it can do everything. I mean, there are some aircraft that are better than it, just due to the fact that they do have BVR, or they do have a better situation with the air to ground. So it is a middle between an aircraft that doesn't have anything and or it's good at one thing, like a Tornado, that it's only good for a ground attack, for example, and an aircraft that has it all, for example, like I mean, no aircraft here has it all, but still like a MiG-29, like an F-14 and stuff that can do better than this overall. So yeah, the F-14, the F-16 Block 10 there. Then we go for the Block 15, the F-16A Block 15 ADF. I would say it's a top dog. Obviously it doesn't have air to ground, but in a dogfight is a little bit better than a Block 10, and it has BVR, so overall it can protect itself a lot better due to the BVR. The Sparrows, it feels like it doesn't change much, but it does, and in the future it will receive even a better radar than the current have with the similarity of the Block 10 as well. So it is just a very good aircraft, one of the best in the game. I still think that it is better than the F-14 in my opinion, because of my playstyle, but still I understand why people love it so much over the F-14 over the F-16, right? But it is one of the best out there, and just one of the best basically. The F-14, I would have to put it on top dog as well. It has its problems, don't get me wrong. It is an aircraft that it is heavy, but that's pretty much it. It doesn't have too much air to ground, but you're not going to use it too much for air to ground. The BVR capabilities are one of the best in the game. It has a Vulcan. The dogfighting capabilities of it is pretty alright. The only problem that it has, it's the power to 8 compared to some of the others, like the F-16 and the MiG-29, but still it's amazing. I'm not putting on great, but because of the heavy thing, just because it is still 11.7, so sometimes you will face some down tiers that you can just stomp and get 8 kills. It's really rare, but still, just because of that, I will put it on top dog. And I know a lot of people like to be the top dog with the F-14 as well, just because it is an aircraft that they are used to, and it is just a very good aircraft overall. Then we go for the Germans, the MiG-23 MLA. I think, yeah, it's, I don't know, it feels like it is, I would say, let me think. I mean, it's 11.3, so I would put it great, but yeah, the thing is, I would consider this aircraft to be 11.7. If it was 11.7, I would put it over here because it's just overall very good, and it is very dangerous, but it tends to lack on the BVR capabilities on long ranges. Still, the R24 is amazing, but still, R60Ms, they're amazing as well if you use them correctly, but most people have troubles with it. On a dogfight capabilities, it can beat the F-14 if you know what you're doing, but to beat the F-16 is really hard. So yeah, it's a very solid aircraft, but it's not invulnerable. You know, it tends to have some troubles dealing with some stuff, and it has a learning curve as well. At 11.3 is almost a top dog because, I mean, it can face on a lot of matches 10.3s. So they need to add it for the 11.7, I mean, because at 11.3 is just kind of OP. I would almost top dog if you get more down tiers, but yeah, it really is a very good aircraft against down tiers, and against the up tiers, it's alright. You can deal with it, and it's just an amazing aircraft. Then we go for the Tornadoes. They now have been nerfed. The Asta have been nerfed to be the same as the Marineflieger on performance, and the Marineflieger has the ability to carry anti-ship, and the Asta to carry the laser-guided ammunition, but they're basically the same aircraft. But I would put it on, yeah, I would say the Marineflieger is good at least on one thing. I would not say that the one thing that it's good at is anti-ship, because that's one of the bad things, just because the way the missiles are working right now, it is really, and we don't barely have maps to use it, so yeah, it's just bad overall. But the thing is, it is the only Tornado that it is 10.7, so in an air battle you can deal with a lot of things and be just fine with it. So at 10.7 it's a very good aircraft, something that the Asta isn't. So I would say that it is kind of bad overall, the Asta. It has one thing that it's alright doing, but it still is not as good as other aircraft, which is the ground attack. It does have thermals, it does have laser guided bombs, but with its BR, it kind of doesn't matter. You will face very, very modern AA systems, and being laser guided bombs, you need to continue to laze the target until the impact, and also you need to kind of fly over the target anyway, because it's not a missile, it's a bomb. So even at TES, it's kind of bad. On the performance kind of things on an air battle, it is pretty bad as well. At this BR, I mean, now that it has 12.0, we have 12.0 max BR in the game, it's alright, but still, it is a problematic one that will face a lot of up tiers. So yeah, it's just overall a kind of bad aircraft, you know, it suffers a little bit. Then we go for the Soviet Union, the MiG-27K, one of the best attackers that we have in game. I would put it on great, but because it is amazing at ground attacking. It really is one of the best in the game, probably the best right now, just because it has TV-guided bombs, it has the TV-guided missiles, laser-guided missiles and bombs as well. It has R60Ms, which can be used to defend yourself. It is lighter than the MiG-23s because of the radar not being there, even though it is technically a MiG-23M fuselage and engine. Still, it's an amazing aircraft, and it can carry a lot of bombs. It can defend itself with the R60Ms. It has the 30mm that it's amazing. So I would say that it is top dog, because it will suffer on the sense of not having BVR. Obviously, but overall it's a very good aircraft. It's just that it's short-legged on an air battle, but it is amazing on a ground battle. It really is. You can destroy a lot of targets with it, and it is just overall one of the best, if not probably the best attack aircraft in the game. Then we go there for the MiG-23 MLD. I almost wanted to put it on top dog, but I will still put it on great, but because it still loses on a dogfight against an F-16 or even a MiG-29, you know, so it's not invulnerable, it's not that amazing. The thrust weight compared to these more 80s fourth generations still lacks a little bit, but the radar is pretty good. The R-24s are amazing. Doesn't have the most amount of range, but you can kill a lot of targets up close until like 15-20 kilometers. R60Ms are pretty alright as well. has the performance. It's just not that good, you know. It's amazing, but it's not that amazing. But yeah, it is a little bit better than the MLA in the sense of turning capabilities and rate fighting, but everything else is just, it's not that amazing compared to the F-16 especially. I guess the F-14 can deal with it, but the BVR capabilities of the F-14 is a little bit better than the MLD anyway. Then we go for the MiG-29. Obviously, I don't have to say anything. MiG-29A, one of the best aircraft in the game. In my opinion, the best. It can beat anything in a dogfight. The BVR is amazing with the ER. Flare stuff, R60s. Probably will receive R73s in the future. The radar has 80 kilometers plus of detection against an F-14. So even though you have a less powerful radar than the F-14, you have a 30-40% more powerful radar than the F-16s. And with the amazing BVR, which is probably the best, it is the best semi-active missile in the game, radar homing. So yeah, it is just overall amazing. So nothing major to talk about it here. Then the Harrier GR7. I have to actually play it again with the new BR, you know, but I would say that it is, I don't know, I feel like it suffers a little bit on many things. I would say that it's good, at least on one thing. It is, or technically two things. It is pretty alright at ground attacking. It is pretty alright at that. I would put it on great. Okay, it is great. The problem is the BR, you know, but the BR is terrible on this aircraft. It is short-legged. I think it's still less capable than any of these on a dogfight or anything like that, but still it's amazing. If you use it correctly, you can beat these aircraft in a dogfight. The M9Ls are pretty amazing. Thermals help a lot with the ground pounding. So overall, a very good aircraft. It has its problems, but the main problem is the BR. A very high BR that you have to deal with it, but it is a very good aircraft in air to ground, and it can defend itself on overall sense of a dogfight. So yeah. Then the Tornado IDS GR1, complete suffering, nothing major to say here. It is the least powerful engined Tornado that we have in game. The bombs are pretty much the same. That has the same problems as the Asta and stuff, but it is still the same BR, but just have less power. You can feel the difference of the power. It is just a problematic aircraft, and you're going to die a lot in all of these aircraft, especially the 11.3s. Tornadoes, you will suffer a lot flying these. Then the EJ Kai, I'd say, yeah, it's probably good, at least on one thing, BVR, you know, and missiles overall, you know. It is an aircraft that, it is basically the F-16 Block 15, but with a Phantom skin, right? So it has the M9Ls, it has the M7Fs, so, and the APG-66, so in a BVR condition, getting people by surprise with the M9L, it's pretty good. But anything beyond that, it's pretty not that good. So ground pounding is kind of bad, and on a dogfight you will lose basically to anything but the Tornadoes. So yeah, it's problematic, right? You have to play it in a very specific manner. The engines are not that powerful, so you will have troubles with this aircraft, but the missiles kind of carry a little bit of the weight of this aircraft. It is a very fun aircraft, but it is still a Phantom, right? So nothing major to say about it. Then we go for the Block 20, obviously the best F-16 in the game. Still doesn't have the proper radar with the TWS, but still has Mavericks, has BVR, has M9Ls, powerful engine. Overall, very good aircraft. Nothing major to say. It is basically in the game right now, the same aircraft as the ADF, but with Mavericks and bombs. So overall, the best F-16 in the game because it can do it all, you know. F-16 Block 15 ADF for the Italians as well. One of the best aircraft in a dogfight in top tier. BVR, overall, very good aircraft. Nothing major to say, but it is one of those that it doesn't have air to ground, but still it's such an amazing aircraft, such an easy aircraft to fly that it is a top dog. Then the Tornado IDS 9095 from the Italians, I would just put it in complete suffering. It is basically the same, but with a slightly more power than the Tornado GR1. I mean, I can even put the Asta over here. I would just add it here just to differentiate between these shoes because it has the Oh no, they actually changed the engine, so yeah, I would put it here actually. Because they all are 11.3, they all have, these two have the same engine, and overall just bad aircraft, complete suffering. Yeah, I forgot that this engine was the same as this one. So yeah, very problematic, but fun at the same time. Then the Mirage 2000C, a top dog, man, definitely a top dog. The missiles are amazing, the radar is amazing, the performance is pretty good. The only problem that it has would be the air-to-ground capabilities, which is kind of limited, but for most of these aircraft it is kind of limited as well. It's a main air defense fighter, so yeah. But yeah, it's amazing aircraft, turns like a zero. I mean, it is amazing. You can beat basically everything if you have the right pilot. Once you lose the speed, it kind of becomes a brick, but still, you still have the engine to actually help a little bit. It is a very, very good aircraft, especially on 11.3. If it was 11.7, I would consider another tier here, but it's just the 11.3, man. You will get so many 10.3s that you can get 6 kills games, like 6 kill games every match almost. It's just amazing at this BR. They need to actually add it for the 11.7. Then we go for the Mirage 2000D, which is, I don't know, I mean, I would say that it is good, at least on one thing. You know, it is, I would put it in kind of bad overall, but it is indeed good at one thing, which is air to ground. Anything else is bad. So it has the ability to carry a lot of laser guided bombs, 2 AS-30 laser guided missiles. Only because of these missiles together with the thermals, I would consider good at one thing. If not, I would say that it's kind of bad overall, because even though it has magics and it can protect itself with the magics, once you fire the 2 magics, you are completely done and you are just kind of bad and you will die. So in an ARB, it's kind of bad. It is bad, really bad. But overall, on an air-to-ground battle, I mean, it is pretty alright with the missiles, with the laser guided bombs. It can do a lot of damage if the pilot knows what he's doing. Then the JA-37D, I mean, I would put it on great, but it has its problems as well. Mainly the BVR, and the air-to-ground obviously doesn't have any air-to-ground, but still, the BVR is very limited with the Sky Flash, very, very limited radar on missile on that sense, on range, you know. Up close is pretty alright, but on the BVR it's just completely dead. The radar is pretty good, the AIM-9Ls, the RB-74s, right? It's pretty alright, has a ton of flare, so it can defend itself. And overall, a very good aircraft. The only problem that it has, if it had a new missile that it's not Sky Flash, like an AIM-7M or something, it would be like here, but they never used it. So we will need to wait until we see the RB-99 or the AIM-120B for it, for actually be able to do BVR. Until then, it's great, but it has the problem of BVR. And then the Nets, I mean, it's just overall a very, very good aircraft, but it lacks the BVR as well. They are almost top dogs, these two, but the thing is, lack of BVR is a major thing, you know, so in the top tier battle, it will make you die a lot if you don't have it sometimes. Just due to the way that everything is, the missiles are pretty amazing right now, so if you're shot from less than 10 kilometers and if you're flying kind of high, and from head on, you're kind of dead. And a missile like a BVR, like AIM-7 or something, would save you from that sometimes. So that's just overall my opinion on why these F-16s are great, but the lack of BVR tends to be problematic. But anyway, this is it, guys. What do you think? No aircrafting kind of bad overall, just the tornadoes are really, really bad. These aircraft, you can have fun with it, but it is problematic. These ones, you can play it safely, they're going to be very fun to fly, but it will not have an amazing KD on it. And the top dogs, if you learn how to use them properly, you will be basically the top dog in the air. You can beat anything with these. They are really amazing aircraft. But yeah, guys, anyway, let me know in the comments what you think. What will you change? Would you change on the tier list that I did? And yeah, guys, I see you guys on the next one. Make sure to subscribe. We're trying to hit 50,000 subscribers until the end of the year. And I see you guys on the next one. Bye, guys. See you.